family. Now today, Obi knows, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks yourself, Mo.
I'm good. It's nice to see you not under the weather.
Boy, you see me, I'm ready for the talks of the football.
Yeah.
That's all I'm here for, my guy.
All right, what should the people expect on today's show?
Well, mostly on today's show, we can look forward to talking about the big news, or rather the headlines that have been making headline throughout the week. And we'll also be talking about the Euros. I mean, the Euros are kicking off, and it is the quarterfinals this coming weekend. So we'll be talking a lot about that and the Copa America, as Lionel Messi is a free agent. So yeah, we want to discuss a little bit about that. But let's kick it off with the news, Mo. And the first topic in the news is the fact that Chippa United retain their status and they're searching for a new coach. And this was revealed on Monday. Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? In South African football, relegation is just in J. It's a suggestion.
Oh.
Because Chippa United were basically sunk and now they've resurfaced. You know what they like?
What?
No, let me not make this example on small sports. We'll do it on another show. But yeah, they ever flash something and they didn't want to go down. It's like that.
Actually, that's how a lot of the fans on Twitter were treating it. They were like, they're tired of Chippa United. Of course, we know what Chippa United has been doing in the past season, recycling coaches now and then. So a lot has been going on in the Chippa United camp, and a lot of South African football fans are not happy, with what's going on at Chippa United. But to talk about the coaching situation, they had Lehlono Siema. He was actually their first coach at the beginning of the season before Dan Dance came in, and he was brought back after, of course, he departed from Black Leopards. And he came to Chippa United for the playoffs. So he was just there. Apparently, he signed a short-term deal, and he already had signed apparently a big deal with Golden Arrows. As you can see, Coach Siema, to sharpen his arrows. They're talking about his big move to Golden Arrows.
But the context of your graphic, is just too much. He's wearing a Plume Celtic shirt. We're talking about Golden Arrows. We're talking about Chippa United. It's a lot.
This is this man's journey, my guy.
This man has been.
He's been. I mean, in the past 2 seasons, he coached Celtic. From Celtic, he went to Chippa. From Chippa, went to Arrows. Went to not TTM rather, but he went to Black Leopards. From Black Leopards, he finds himself back at Chippa United. So his journey has been very, very long in the past 2 seasons, and now he finds himself at Golden Arrows. So that is one coach that has been traveling quite a lot. But Chippa United, coming back to the search of the coach, they are looking for a coach who will be able to win trophies for them. So apparently Kevin Hunt is one of the coaches on the list for Chippa United, as coaching staff, and they are saying that they've received about over 12 candidates sending in their CVs. So at this point, he's saying there are local coaches and there are some international coaches who are sending in their CVs. So one thing that Chippa United are looking for, Chippa Mpangesi himself, he's looking for a coach who will be able to take his team into a top 8 finish. And something that is pretty impossible with the quality of players he has. But one thing he did make certain of is that he's going to keep the core of the squad. He's going to build around that and bring in a coach who can be able to move his team forward. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next few weeks.
All right, let's talk about Baroka and their signing or deal. At this point, they're saying they've signed Cyril on a 3-year deal. Who is Cyril? Clearly not CR17.
No, not CR17. This is Cyril Chibwe, goalkeeper from Polokwane City. Was recently offloaded by the Polokwane side, and he's a Zambian international, actually, first choice for Zambia. He's also a very good goalkeeper. He's played in the PSL already, had a bit of experience, a couple of, in fact, 1 season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So him signing for Baroka AFC, of course, they've got some very good goalkeepers. They've got Oscarin Masuluke, who's been the first choice for majority of the games they played in the PSL. And they've also got Chipezeze, who's been part of this team for quite some time. So I think the addition of Chibwe in this team is obviously going to, make strengthen the goalkeeping department. You're looking at me and I'm thinking, is this guy going to say, why are you not complaining about the nationality? But
no, I'm not going to ask you that. Not today.
Not today. I was going to say, at least the Oscarin Masuluki, he's South African in there. But nonetheless, he is coming in to strengthen the squad. He signs on a 3-year deal as well with Baroka FC. So those are one of many signings actually that Baroka revealed yesterday at their base camp.
All right, now, as you all know, Kaizer Chiefs couldn't sign because they've been little bad boys. But now the ban is gone and Kaizer Chiefs can sign once more. Didn't waste any time. I hear Nange is on his way to Naturena. Peterson is also on his way. Klanti is also on his way. I mean, these are people that were named before even the ban, and even now after the ban, they're like, hey, what the
Yeah, yeah. It seems like these are signings that have been confirmed. I mean, we're still waiting for an official statement, of course, from Kaizer Chiefs. We're still waiting for them to walk out at Naturena and get the pictures taken of them. But at this point, I mean, we know that Nange was wanted by Kevin Hunt. I mean, Brendan Peterson was a player who was wanted by Kevin Hunt. Klanti as well. All these players played with Kevin Hunt, or played for Kevin Hunt rather, at Bidvest Wits. So my question obviously comes in, and my question is Stuart Baxter looking for these exact players that have been brought in? I mean, they've already. That's one of the reasons why I was so baffled by why they would release the coach at such a late stage of the season, because you've already laid plans for next season. You already laid the foundation for next season, who you want to come in. So now you're changing the whole philosophy of the team. Will the coach who's coming in want these players? I mean, let me not say anything about Sfiso Klanti, because I've had so much to say about Sfiso Klanti. I mean, he's an international player, plays for a first choice left back for the national team, but can't even start a game for Swallows. So that kind of gives you a depiction of who this player is who's joining Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, I think he could be a brilliant player on a certain day, but for Kaizer Chiefs, you need someone who will be consistent week in and week out, and that's not something that Klanti can give you.
All right. Sticking with Kaizer Chiefs now, everybody who has Twitter, everybody who has WhatsApp, or even Facebook knows at this point in time that Kaizer Chiefs have a new sporting director. And I have a couple of questions, because I see everybody's applauding the fact that, wow, what a great choice, what the perfect man for the job. Obinos, do you agree with everybody saying that Kaizer Mtaung Jr. is the right man for the sporting directorship at Kaizer Chiefs?
Look, I don't know what he's been doing behind the scenes. Maybe, Karabo Phasha will come in and explain it a little bit for us, what he's been doing, behind the scenes for Kaizer Chiefs before taking up this position. I mean, during the march, the fan protest or the fan march, he was part of the three people who actually received the memorandum from the fans. So he was visibly there, showed his face, and he didn't even shy away from answering some questions from the media. So I would say that he's really taken on he's really taken on the responsibilities of being part of this Kaizer Chiefs technical team. Of course, he's played for the team for many years. Of course, played for the team, and now he's been in the background. We're not really seeing a lot of the things he's doing. But if you're on social media, he does a lot of talks, motivational talks here and there in different places. So he's a person who's very, very busy. But I'm not quite too sure what he's been doing at the club, but for the role that he's received now, it's a very big role in Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, we're looking at the fact that it's a big change at Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, they just reached the CAF final for the first time. They're gonna try and bring in some players after the transfer ban. There's a new coach. There's a new head of development as well. So there's quite a lot of change that is going on at Kaizer Chiefs. Whether he can weather the storm, I'm not quite too sure. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens as the season goes.
It's going to be a very interesting one to see that if the sporting director title is the same thing that we see in Europe, or is South Africa going to give us a new twist at the sporting directorship. But let's move on. Let's talk about the Hungry Lions and the Rovers, who've now gained promotion to the NFD. The NFD, for those who are not savvy with South African football, that's Latin Africa. That is the National First Division. Now, these two teams, where do they come from? Now, everybody is very excited because we finally have a representative from the Northern Cape coming into the top two tiers. Now we're going to have the Hungry Lions, who are from the Northern Cape, come represent the Northern Cape. And then we're going to have the Platinum City Rovers. We all can guess where they're from. They're from the Northwest, where the Platinum City is obviously Rustenburg. But these two teams are coming into the second division, who knows, and there's still a final to play, which is playing tomorrow. Yeah,
the final is taking place tomorrow. Of course, the winner, I don't know why it's like that. I mean, why are you... So if you just made it to the semifinals, you are in. That's basically what happened.
The final is just like first place, second place.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually glad that that has been wrapped up. At least we now know who's coming into the NFD. Now we're just waiting to see what's going to happen at the top of the NFD at this point. I mean, Royal AM are holding on to that position. They don't want to let go. So, so we have to wait and see what happens. Once the season is about to begin, maybe, because with the league is currently in courts, and we're waiting for things for those intricacies to be sorted out. Who's going down? Who's going up? So once that is decided, then we'll know eventually what the situation is. But coming back to Hungry Lions, remember the last Northern Cape team?
No, I don't quite remember.
Power Lines FC?
No, don't do that to us. Don't do that to us.
It's Power Lines. Where's Power Lines? That was the last time there was an actual cup game. I mean, Nedbank Cup game played in in Northern Cape, and it was at a rugby stadium as well, to show that Northern Cape is not so represented when it comes to football. It's a place that's not so represented. So I'm glad that they've got now a team that is in the second division of South African football, which it's a stepping stone for Northern Cape football. So I'm very glad to see them there. They need to take away our memories of power lines. They really need to.
All right, talking about the English Premier League. We're talking about the coaches, obviously. The coaching situations across the Premier League. As you know, Spurs and Crystal Palace, for some reason, including Everton, didn't have coaches come the end of the season. But Nuno Espirito Santo has now signed for Spurs, while Patrick Vieira is now going to Crystal Palace. And then Benitez is going to Everton. Now, a lot of the Liverpool fans are not excited about that last one. That's why I even had to pause and go, because Liverpool fans are like, but why would you cross the street like that? We've forgiven you with Chelsea. We've forgiven you with Newcastle United. Now you're going to Everton, right across the street.
Bro, all those other two teams, I'm fine with it.
You know what's the most iconic thing about this whole situation? Like Everton, Rafa Benitez traded Anfield for Goodison Park.
Interesting.
You have to think of it like that.
Interesting.
Because Everton left Anfield, they went to Goodison Park. So Rafa Benitez left Anfield, went a couple of other places, but ended up at Goodison Park. Let's hope he can do. Do you think he can do a good job as the head coach of Everton? He has Richarlison. We know the loves. Calvert-Lewin.
First things first, man. I hope he doesn't do well. That's it.
But
I'm not gonna lie to you about how I feel, Mo.
I think you're being a sports fan for a second. No, switch on the analyst. Take off the fan cap, put in the analyst. Let's analyze the football. Do you not think he will do a good job with the squad that he has there,
bro? I've got my analyst cap this side and I've got my fan cap this side. It's very hard to decide. Okay? But in all honesty, I think he's got a brilliant squad that he's got at Everton. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna bring back Moise Kean. He probably might use him. He's got a very good squad. You are right. He's got a very good squad. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti, laid a proper foundation, especially with the transfers he made last season, bringing in that
solid
midfield. Very solid midfield. And having looked at what he has done to teams, I mean, when he came to Liverpool were coming from the hands of Gerard Houllier. Of course, they were just recently crowned as European champions. So. But now he's coming into a team which has been lacking in terms of trophies, a team that is completely thirsty for any silverware. So I do think that he's coming into a place where a lot of pressure is going to be, but not the same as Liverpool. But nonetheless, I do think that he has the ability and he has the players to be able to make something out of that squad.
And this is not going to Tottenham Hotspurs. That's my only count. But let's talk about South African football before we wrap up and take a break. Letsulenyane has, in his own video, thrown the boots away. He's finally retired. He's let go of football. Now, you've been watching Mo Spurs for the longest time, which I assume you have. Obinos asked him in December, around Christmas time, when will you be retiring? And he walked away from us. And then it turns out that he did retire towards the end of the season, which is at this moment in time.
Yeah.
But what I will say, what an iconic career this man has had. I mean, he was part of that 2010 World Cup squad. He's been a figure in South African's midfield for a very long time.
He's been that player, man. He's been that player. Especially, I think the best memories of is in that Kaizer Chiefs jersey. That's what we knew him as Modimo Abolo, and we knew him as Beyonce as well. So I think it was a very iconic Chiefs side that he was part of. Won a lot of trophies there as well. I think his career has just been, he's just been that player in the midfield. He's got that charisma. You can't miss him when he's on the field. And I think the teams that he's played for, they'll tell you best what type of person he's been in the dressing room. I mean, we've got a chance to experience him a little bit at TS Galaxy. We could tell that he's a very friendly individual. He's very open to talk.
Funny also.
Very funny
Very
as
hilarious.
well. Also open to help the youth as well. So he's that player that you really want in your circle. But it's just unfortunate that he felt like it's time to call time. And we can't really complain about it. He's served football so well. It's just about time that we hang
It's about time that we also take a break. So we'll see you after the break. When we come back, we'll be having a conversation with Karabo Phasha. Like Obino said, we need to confirm a few things about Kaizer Chiefs.
Here is a story about a hit.
If it does not get you close to 21, then you can ask the dealer to hit you, give you an additional.
No. Hit me, Ganjan.
You want to hit again?
I said it with my chest.
Let's change your mind about being hit.
Just a little shy, yeah. Hit me. Real men don't stand. Hit me. Hit me again.
I sure.
How to understand a hit.
What was that? You
Hit the ball.
hit. Go bust on that head.
To hit or not to hit.
This is a game. That's pretty big. Boom! It's a 3.
It's
It's a 3. Watch this.
a 3. It's a 21, bro!
Watch us play blackjack on Super TV, channel 150 on OpenView, or hit that thing yourself when you SMS Super TV to 30978. Super TV, let's play.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, like I said, I promised you that we'll be talking to another sports analyst. I feel like as a football pundit, I am blessed to have a few gentlemen in my corner who can talk football with me and give me some perspective when things look like they are lacking. And they're doing that for both me and you at home. So welcome back to the show. The name of the show is Mo Sports. My name is Mo, and we are talking all things football. And we're joined on the line by Mr. Karabo Phasha, football analyst, football philanthropist. I feel like we should start making football journalist as well, football lover. It's like, we should just say football. Karabo, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Mo. Thank you so very much for having me. Absolute pleasure being here.
All right, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, the last time we spoke to you, we were talking about the CAF Champions League semi-finals. Just your thoughts on what Kaizer Chiefs has been able to achieve so far.
Yeah, listen, I think it's been special. It really has been quite special. You know, the first time the club has been in the CAF Champions League after, I think, 21 years. And for them to reach the CAF Champions League final, it says an awful lot about them, about the character. And I think now we can really say, you know, possibly the challenge was with the previous coach. But with all due respect to him, and congratulations once again to the club, the players, as well as Coach Afazwani.
All right, now let's talk about the matter of the moment. I mean, there's a big matter that's taking place in court, but we want that matter to be handled on the pitch. I'm obviously talking about what's going on with Royal AM. Can you give us some thoughts and some updates on what's happening with that situation? Because Royal AM hasn't taken to the pitch, but the points have not been updated as far as we know.
Yeah, listen, the latest in terms of that is that, Supa United are the champions of the promotional playoffs. They will be campaigning in the DStv Premiership next season. Royal M have not, gone to court as of yet. The PSL has also not released any statement in terms of Supa United being the promotional playoffs. But at this moment in time, Supa United will be campaigning in the top division next season.
So now let's go back to this conversation about Kaizer Chiefs. We all heard the news that Kezam Taung Jr. is now the sporting director at Kaizer Chiefs. First of all, what does the role entail, and do you think he's the right man for the job?
Yeah, listen, just to explain what exactly is a sporting technical director now. What the technical director is responsible for is possibly is mainly a bridge between the management of the team as well as the technical side, which is the playing and the coaching staff. So what happens is that in terms of decision makings and bringing in the players at the club is also going to be helping them and also being a bridge in terms of saying to the management of the club, the technical team needs these players. Can you please assist in terms of that, and also be responsible for overseeing the youth side. Obviously, there's a certain way that Kaizer Chiefs want to go back to in terms of how they used to play in the Ericsson era back in 2001. So you also be responsible for assisting the youth coaches at the club, to help those academic players to play the way that the first team is playing. So basically what a technical director does is that he is the bridge between the technical team as well as the management of the club.
Oh, that's a great explanation. I think the people at home will definitely understand a little bit more better what a sporting director does. But let's talk about the transfers. Now, Kaizer Chiefs have been suffering under this ban. They couldn't sign new players. But now, after the ban has gone away, we've heard a long list of players. I'm talking about Nange, Peterson, Ngobo in there, Tlati in there. When do we expect to see these players actually getting unveiled? Or is this all just rumors again?
No. I think I can also, at this moment in time, I can confirm that a supporter of Swallows is now a Kaizer Chiefs player as well as Ngobo. Ngobo was actually, approached by Mamelodi Sundowns in the 11th hour trying to hijack the move, but he's chosen to go to Kaizer Chiefs. The other one is Patrick Nangi, actually signed for Chiefs before being loaned out by Kaizer Chiefs, to Stellenbosch FC. So those are the three players that I can confirm that they will be campaigning for Kaizer Chiefs next season. I also have been, a bit of rumors in terms of other players, but I cannot confirm at this moment in time. But the three players that you've mentioned, they will be playing for Kaizer Chiefs next season.
What about Thembazwane? I've also heard rumors that Kaizer Chiefs are on the hunt for the young man. Is that true?
Yeah, that's a very difficult one. It really is a very difficult one. But what I can confirm with you is that Tembazwane actually has an option of 12 more months on his current deal when he signed with the club. When actually there was an extension, 3 years ago. So Sundowns still have the power over Tembazwane because he's still has a 1 more year left on his current deal, and it looks like Mamelodi Sundowns want to exercise the deal. But in terms of rumors, there has been talks that the Chiefs are looking to sign him. I think let me just leave it at rumors. But confirmation is that Sundowns look like they will be extending that deal. For the 1 more option and possibly extending it to 2 or 3 more because he's an absolute general footballer.
All right, Karabo, let's continue the chat about the transfers, obviously. I want to know about Gaston Sereno. I mean, Al Ahly have been on his radar for the longest time. The question is he finally moving or is it still just in the rumor phase of things?
Yeah, listen, I think Mamelodi Sundowns will be, making a decision in terms of that. I actually wrote about it about 48 hours ago. Yet again on Tuesday, around about 1:30 in the morning, he posted on his Instagram account yet again wearing an Al Ahly shirt, and he said, the caption read, I dream of Al Ahly. So it looks like he wants to move away, and this is actually the 3rd time that Gaston Sereno is wearing an Al Ahly t-shirt while contracted to Mamelodi Sundowns, and that is already a breach of contract. Is he loyal to Sundowns? Is he loyal to Al Ahly? That is the question. But it looks like Sundowns will have to deal with this one, effectively and efficiently, because it looks like he's a player that does not want to be at Mamelodi Sundowns. And I've been able to talk to one of my correspondent out at Mali Papamali, who's also close to someone out at Al Ahly. It looks like Ali will be coming back, to try and sign Gaston Sereno in this window.
Wow, some really interesting information there. Let's take it abroad now and talk about Lionel Messi. Not only is he playing in the Copa America, but he's finally a free agent, free of Barcelona. The question is he going to stay to play 1 more season with Aguero, or will he be leaving Barcelona?
That one I can confirm. Lionel Messi is staying at Barcelona. That is a foregone conclusion. He will be signing a 2 more year deal with Barcelona up until June 2023. So Lionel Messi is staying at Barcelona. It looks like all the talks have been sorted out. He will be extending his deal after the Copa America they are playing Ecuador on Sunday. So a confirmation is that Lionel Messi will be staying at Barcelona until at least June 2023.
So the question is, does he have the right team to win the Copa America, or do you have somebody else you think will win the Copa America?
Yeah, that's a very difficult one. They're playing up against Ecuador on Sunday morning, 3 o'clock kickoff time, 3 a.m. South African time. So that's a very difficult one because, the South American tournament, the Copa America is never easy. Brazil is still in there as well, and they look like they're starting to mature as a team. They've got good players as well. I think you know better than me in terms of the Brazilian players. But listen, I think it is going to be very difficult for Argentina to win it. But they've got the players, they've got the cream of, top players playing worldwide football. We've spoken about Messi, Angel Di Maria. There's Sergio Aguero as well, so they've got good players, but for them to win it, I think it's just a bit too early for me to say.
All right, let's talk about the group of death out in the Euro 2020 now. This group of death was named that because at Germany, they had France, they had Portugal, Hungary as well, turning out to be another team that was difficult to beat in Group F, but they're all gone now, including Hungary themselves. So are you shocked at the whole of Group F being dumped out of this tournament?
I think we all are. I think we all expected, at least France as well as the other team to go through, particularly Portugal, because they are the defending champions. They won it back in 2016, and for them to be knocked out, at that stage of the competition, I think it raises eyebrows. And I think there's, a saying in football that football is got made there for, it's played on that little green thing we call a football pitch. And I think what a huge surprise, and it looks like anyone can win, this year's European Championships. But at the moment in time, possibly Spain, England as well, they've got the chance of winning it as well as Belgium. But listen, there's never ever a foregone conclusion in football, and there's no therefore. So we'll see as to which team will be winning the Copa America. But in terms of your question, I think it's a huge surprise that the big 3, if you like, are out of the European Championships.
All right, let's talk about the last teams that are left in there. I mean, the last big names that are left in there. We're talking about Italy, Belgium, England. We're also talking about Spain. Should we count Spain as one of the favorites to win the tournament now that the other big guns are gone?
Not favorites, but they are in it, with the chance of winning it. Once you get to the quarterfinal stages, it's anyone's, opportunity to win it. But to be honest, there's a slogan that the English love saying, it's coming home, possibly not. It is, so we'll see in regards to that one. But they've also got the ammunition, they've got the players as well. I think right through from the back to the offensive. They've got good players. There's also Belgium as well. I think they're currently ranked world number 2, if I'm not mistaken. So Belgium as well as Italy as well. Dark horses, I think Italy. So those are the teams that I think they can. Well, the 4 that you've actually mentioned, I think they can really go all the way and win this European Championship this summer.
All right, let me ask you this last question before I let you go. Now, we all know that Jadon Sancho's numbers are incredible for Borussia Dortmund, but he's not stepped on the pitch for England. Do you perhaps have an idea why?
I was asked this question a couple of days ago, and I said, maybe there's a bit of connection between Manchester United as well as the English national team, trying to decrease the value of Jadon Sancho because what a player he has been for Borussia Dortmund. And there's actually no explanation in terms of numbers. I spoke to Obakane, also told me about the stats of comparing, Raheem Sterling as well as Jadon Sancho. Sancho is absolutely far off, than Raheem Sterling. So it's actually a huge surprise that Jadon Sancho has not played in the European Championships. But maybe they're trying to decrease his value because I think last season Borussia Dortmund wanted 100 million euros, but they were only getting 85 million euros for him. So maybe that is some of the explanation because there's nothing untoward. He's not injured. I've spoken to someone close to the England national team, that is Chris Whitley. He's told me that he's fit and fine to play, but he's not been able to get an opportunity, and it's a surprising one, to be quite honest.
All right, Karabo, thank you for your time, thank you for your knowledge, and thank you for sharing that with us here on Supa TV. It's always a pleasure to have you on the channel, and we are very grateful because now we have some insight. We know what's happening in world football, and now it's time for us to take a break. And when we come back, we'll have Obi Knows back on the screen, and we'll continue the conversation by looking at the Euro 2020.
Do you believe in luck? How about double luck? Double your luck by SMSing Supa TV to 30978 and don't miss Double Ball Roulette and other amazing games every day of the week at 2:30 p.m. only on Supa TV OpenView channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, it's been a very trying time in world football. We're talking about the Euro 2020. Now, all of us made bets. All of us. I know, you sit at home, you made your bet. But Fit, do you realize that the big group of death, all those teams are gone? Do you realize that the only team that could possibly win it is the world number 1? It's Italy, it's Spain, but also, we can't count out for Switzerland, we can't count out for Ukraine.
You can't count out England as well.
You can't count out England as well. It's been a very tricky tournament so far, but it's a beautiful one at that. Welcome to the show. My name is Mo, this is Obi Knows, and we're talking all things football here on Mo Sports on channel 150 on your open view decoder. It's Supa TV powered by Super Bets. Now, let's give you the Mo riddle one more time before we get too ahead of ourselves, because we already talked about the Euros. We want to move on and talk about everything else. So this is what the Mo riddle reads like today. If you have the answer, the number is 071-621-4746. Let's see how well you know your football. And while you're still on your phone, don't forget to SMS Supa TV to 30978. It's imperative that you do so. But let's carry on and talk about what's happening in the Euros. Now, who thought that the quarterfinals of the Euros would read as follows? Now, the first fixture we're talking about here is Switzerland versus Spain. Obi knows, this was the opening game of the 2010 World Cup for Spain and Switzerland. I remember that game because Spain went on to lose it against Switzerland. That's the only game they lost in the entire tournament. But it's history repeating itself. Do you think that Switzerland will draw from that energy to say in 2010 we faced these guys with both Shaqiri, and Shaqiri had a stellar game that day? Do you think that they'll think that we can do it again? Channel that energy from group whatever from 2010.
I think what they'll be channeling more is the energy they had against France. having to come back from 3-1 down to win.
Seferovic.
What?
And the funny thing is, when we spoke about Seferovic, we were not convinced about him.
You asked me why Seferovic, and I said, hey, my guys, he's a problem. But these are some of the players that, Spain should look out for. Of course, you did mention Xherdan Shaqiri. Steven Zuba is in there, I'll tell you why. Granit Xhaka is in there, Jan Sommer, and Haris Seferovic. And, starting off with Xherdan Shaqiri, I think, the reason why they managed to beat France in that game was because of the formation they played first and foremost. I mean, they forced France to play with the three men at the back and have some wing backs. And that's one thing I did say about the game between Germany and England, that if England were really serious about beating Germany, they will go from that 4-2-3-1 and go to a 3-4-3, because that's exactly how they went with. They had wing backs, because you need to cancel out those wing backs one way or the other, So they did that very well. Switzerland forced France to play with the 3-5-2, and that's a formation that France have not played with the entire campaign. And on top of that, France had Clement Langley at the back line, and he's not even featured for any minute, not even 1 minute throughout the whole campaign. So it was a lot of changes coming from the French national team, which kind of unsettled the team, and we saw it. We saw how a couple of changes in the Switzerland team. They brought on Mbabu to come on the right wing, and he added a couple of crosses. That was the Seferovic goal that Seferovic scored, was coming from Mbabu's cross, and Steven Zuba, very good on the flanks. I mean, he gives you a lot of energy coming on the flanks. So I think that's where the problem is going to be a lot more for Spain. If they don't try and contain these players, if they don't try and match Switzerland, and if they, by any chance delinquentize them, if they just decide that, we're going to go into this game and win it mentally and not on the field, they would make a big mistake. You know
what I think the secret recipe was for Switzerland? Wow. A lot of people are forgetting that if you look at the squad is quite aged. I mean, you look at the likes of Seferovic. When Seferovic came to South Africa in 2010, he was a teenager. Shaqiri was a teenager. All these guys were teenagers. Now they're senior players in a team that's been together for at least 3 to 4 tournaments. Yeah. And now they're starting to exhibit that playing style they've wanted. And they've not changed their coach since. We look at teams, especially in Africa, we see international coaches switching all the time. You can get sacked in Africa while you're on a rest break. It's something that happens when you're coaching international football. But you're looking at this team, and these boys have been together for a while now. Yeah. Granit Xhaka, when he got signed to Arsenal, they were crying about him at international level. Look at what he did in the past Euro. Let's get that boy in. And now look at what he's doing now in this Euro. I mean, this is like prime Granit Xhaka. Everybody's like, this is the Granit Xhaka that Arsenal signed. Yeah, not definitely. The one we see week in, week out. Everybody's shocked. But these players, we're looking across the board. The reason why these big teams are falling by the wayside is because these teams have been there. They've played these guys 4 or 5 times already. They've played in the Nations League. They've also gotten some experience under their belt, and they're able to exhibit what they're exhibiting. But Spain, on the other hand, they also had a tough fixture. They also had to do it the tough way on the same day that Switzerland did it. But do we have hope for them?
For Spain? I think Spain, my biggest problem with Spain is not the attack. Of course, at the beginning of the campaign, they weren't scoring any goals. They didn't win their first 2 games. And the question was, of course, with Alvaro Morata up front, are you going to win? And it turned out that, they kept to their secret, which was Alvaro Morata. I mean, clearly, they're not trying to pull him off. So definitely, there's something that they're hiding from us there, you know what I'm saying? But I think they found their rhythm up front. My biggest problem for them is at the back now. I mean, they cannot be conceding so many goals. I mean, in the last game they played, they conceded 2 goals. After leading 3-1 as well, they conceded 2 goals, and the last one coming in the very last minute of the game, pushing them into extra time. So that's why I'd be more concerned. And please do remember that was a Croatia side that did not have a Perisic in there. There was no even Perisic in there. So what's wrong? Why couldn't you defend better? Why couldn't you do better? Who was giving you so many problems? And with the players they have, I mean, you can count Expelicuetas in there. You've got Laporte, you've got Pau Torres. You also got Simon in goals. So I do think Spain should be doing a lot better.
Simon is mentioning someone who let the ball just hit the back of the net.
He makes him look.
He made it.
It was a mistake.
That was beyond an error. That was embarrassing. I mean,
do you know what that reminded me of?
Who?
The first time I saw Senzo Meyiwa playing for Orlando Pirates. I remember that game so well. It was at Orlando Stadium. It was against Thanda Royal Zulu. And Bernard Parker was playing for Thanda Royal Zulu at the time. And he passed Senzo Meyiwa the ball.
And he clashed.
A clutch. Fish! And it went in. It reminded me of Senzo Meyiwa at that moment. But all I'm saying is, Yes,
ne?
on the feet, Unai Simon did disappoint in there, but he pulled off
But
some
he had some
crucial
crucial
saves
saves,
in that game. So I think it's
Yeah.
someone they can, depend on at this point. Better than De Gea, actually.
I guess at this point, our message is quite simple. You can't bet on the Euros based on reputation anymore because all these teams are pulling up and are pulling up hard. Let's go to the website. Let's go see the head-to-head between these two sides before we talk about Belgium and Italy now. Those are the semi-finals that are coming up. I mean, the quarterfinals are coming up in the Euros. All we know is match info. Let's go to statistics. Soccer, international, Euro Cup, Euro Cup. It's funny how I memorize that. Let's go to fixtures. And as you can see, these are the quarterfinals, as you can see them. Switzerland versus Spain, Belgium versus Italy. All those games are taking place today, so you don't want to be out of the house, missing out on all this action. Now, the last time we won Mo Sports, our Mo Riddle was Luis Enrique, so he's there as the coach. But this is what the stats have to say about these two sides. They've met 6 times since the year 1966, and 3 wins have gone to Spain with 2 draws and 1 win to Switzerland. That 1 win coming in 2010 in that World Cup. So as you can see, not much to go by in terms of the head-to-head between the two sides, but this is what the information point has to say. It says Spain haven't lost in their last 11 games, and then says Spain have previously won 4 out of their 6 matches against Switzerland. So let's go down, Robinos, and let's see how it all goes down. So it's not a high-scoring game. As you can see, it's a 1-1 draw the last time out. They faced each other in the Nations League. They faced each other in the Nations League again. Spain was the home side. They won 1-0, and then they drew in an international friendly, and then Switzerland won 1-0 in the World Cup Group H in 2010 in the World Cup. That's one we're talking about. Then there's 94 and 1966 to go by. So let's put that website away, Obinos. Let's talk about Belgium and Italy now. One of these two sides, for me, have to be in the finals of this tournament.
Definitely.
I mean, you can't. There's no other way of putting it. One of these two sides have to be in there. If Italy win it, then they have to be in it. But if Belgium win it, then they have to win the whole tournament, because this is the side that Obi knows best defense. They have a good goal scoring record. This is Italy we're talking about, and Belgium on the other side, who are rated the number 1 in the world. So let's talk about Obino. Let's start first with the possible lineup for Italy. Who do you think will make it up in there?
Yeah, like we spoke about Berardi. We spoke about Berardi and Chiesa, who should be starting. Of course, we did see the numbers, and we said,
Yeah.
Berardi has better numbers, less games, much better numbers than Chiesa has.
Yeah.
But I think what we've seen in this tournament is that Chiesa is the man you can count on in crucial moments. We've seen it in the game where he started in the I think it was the 3rd game. It was the final game of the group stage, which they already won, when we saw Chiesa start, and he was a spark, and he was so much of a spark that in the following game, when they couldn't get a goal, they brought him on and he scored the goal. So I do think that he's a player that you can count on. He's very young as well, but I think he's proved himself at the biggest stage. He played with Juventus this season, played in the Champions League as well. He's proved himself. So I do think that we might see him start. And I'm very concerned with Verratti in that midfield. I think with bringing in Verratti, of course, he played in the 3rd game as well as the group stages. And the coach decided that, I'm gonna stick with him in the following game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Jorginho and Jorginho and Verratti click as much as Jorginho clicks with Locatelli. So I would expect Locatelli to start alongside Jorginho, and I would expect the right winger to be Chiesa in the next game for Italy.
I actually just want Italy to keep to the same formula that got them this far. I mean, the success has come from just being consistent in what they're doing, and they've surprised everyone. Everybody didn't think of Italy as the danger side, as the team that's going to rough up everybody else. But Obi knows, if you're ready, let's try it. You want to go to the lineups. Let's go to the website and let's see the lineups before we make our Euro bet slip. Let's go see how it's looking like. So this is how the lineup usually looks like for Italy in this tournament. Donnarumma is in goals with Di Lorenzo, Benucci, and Arcavi. Making up that defense with Spinazzola playing on the flank right there. We're missing a very important name. We're talking about Giorgio Chiellini. So if they were trying to play a back 3, Giorgio Chiellini would have been a perfect fit. But because he's unavailable at this moment in time, they'll continue maybe to go with this 4-3-3. As you can see, the players he's mentioned, there's Barella, Jorginho, Verratti, Insegna, Immobile, and Berardi making up that front 3. So it's going to be a very interesting team in terms of how they line up against the side. So let's go to the main website. Let's go try and make this bet slip happen. Let's see if we know how to make a proper bet slip and make some serious moolah. Let's go down. Euro 2020. Speaking of Thomas Muller, we missed out on a lot, eh? Thomas Muller's miss. Guys, Euro 2020 has been the one, eh?
Mbappe's miss.
Mbappe's miss. But you know what? Mbappe is Ronaldo's biggest fan. And when it comes to penalties in big tournaments, especially with UEFA, you know he has to miss that penalty. Yeah. I mean, I'm shocked he didn't cry. I would have cried. I would have lost my mind. I would have rolled on the floor. But let's make our best slip so we can have something to cry about. Who knows? Spain, Switzerland. The odds are saying Spain. I'd like to... Okay, wait, hold on. Let's put the website away. We need to talk about this before we make our best slip. You sure, Antoine? You sure you want to do this in front of the people at home?
I'm sure, dog.
You sure you want to do this in front of the people at home?
I am sure, dog. Look, in actual fact, I'm saying Switzerland are winning.
All right, let's give it Switzerland. That's 4-4. Okay, fine. Let's go to Switzerland. And then Belgium, Italy. You think Belgium will go through? Let's give it to the home sides. Let's be those guys. To the home sides.
I think this one goes to extra time.
Yeah, let's make it a draw. You're right.
I think it goes extra time.
I think it's safe to put everything on draw, then, you know what I mean? Because everything is going to... You imagine all those wins that we put up and everything went to a draw. Imagine. Obino's amount, let's put 100 Rand on it. We just have to. Let's see how much money we could possibly make. We can make 1,638 Rand. So let's put the website down. Very interesting round of fixtures if you ask me about what's happening in this tournament. I mean, at this point in time, it's very hard to believe that there's a quarterfinal that's taking place without Germany, without France, without Portugal. These are three of the last two World Cup winners, last Euro winner.
Like finalist as well.
And finalist as well. Yeah. There's a lot of pedigree there. Nations League finalist as well. A lot of pedigree there, but they're not there.
It was disappointing. I mean, to just think that, two of my favorites are gone now. They just slipped out of it. In fact, three of them, because Portugal was one of my favorites. I did say Italy, not Italy. No, I'm lying. I said it would be Germany, France, Germany, or Portugal, and that was my call, right? I said, one of these three would win it, and it's unfortunate right now I got my predictions wrong. But who do I think will take it now?
It's a very tough one, but let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation by also looking at the Copa America and see what's happening in South America.
I am Supa. I am new. I am daring and spontaneous. I make my dreams come true. I am super creative. I am created to create. I am a gamer, a super fan, a spectator, a couch coach. I take opportunity. Bluza, but I see Quebec. I am responsible. I am a place of joy, a place of hope, a game changer. I am freedom. Never before have you seen this. A winner despite the odds. Strus God uzokwala. No Gilignora, Stan, Sama Supa.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, if you're just joining us, I do apologize for the starting times. We did not announce, but Mo Sports starts off at 2 p.m. now on the same days, but just an hour later. So make sure you don't miss the show. And like I said, if you can catch it on Open View on your channel 150, you can always catch us on Facebook or on YouTube. Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now,
Collection.
Sorry?
Collection.
Collection, yes.
Correction. Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No more Wednesday. Believe it or not, that's where we at now. We cut the Wednesday, boy.
Why are we cutting Wednesday?
Why we cutting Wednesday? Boy, I need to be at the beach, know what I'm saying, and chilling, know what I'm saying, mentally.
Do you realize that what you're saying to me is no Champions League matches for me anymore? Those are crucial, boy.
Well,
we'll
talk on Monday about the games that are happening throughout.
No, we can't.
We can.
Look at okay, fine. Look at this week alone. On Tuesday night.
Yo, boy, you missed us so much. Yo, Mo Sports. What we will talk about.
Yo, guys, a whole 5-3. I was not okay. We better raise this with management. But welcome back to the show. My name is Mo. This is Obi Knows, and you're watching Mo Sport on channel 150 on your decoder. It's Super TV powered by Super Bets. Now let me give you the Mo riddle one more time before we talk about the Copa America. Here it is. Now, if you know who he is, then you should send us a WhatsApp message to 071 621 4746. But he's a legend legend of South African football. He's played for Kaizer Chiefs, Juventus Durban. I actually didn't know there was a Juventus Durban until I found out about this guy. And I was like, should I say it as Juventus or should I say Juventus Durban? In order to confuse all of y'all. Like, who played for Juventus, then Durban City, then Amazulu, then Kaizer Chiefs? Why would you leave? Why would you leave? But yeah, let's carry on with the show. Let's talk about the Copa America now. Obi knows has been saying throughout this whole tournament that Brazil are the winners. Even before the ball was kicked, he was like, look at the squad, look at the goalkeepers. Brazil at this point is spoiled. I know.
Choice.
It's like, you know how all of us play Need for Speed, and at the start, there's this rich kid who has a GTR from the start of the game. Where'd you get it, bro? We have to work hard with our Polos and our Peugeot 206s. Yeah. We have to start from scratch with a Honda Civic. This guy already has a GTR. And then he beats you in the first race and tells you he takes the girls also. That's basically what Brazil is doing. They have everything.
Look, I think I'm done talking about Copa America.
You done?
I told you.
I
said, if it was possible for me to not be part of this segment on Mo Sports, boy, let's do it because I'm done talking about Copa America.
You know what you do with people that speak like this? You take them to the website. It's the Super Bet's website. Don't forget to SMS Super TV to 30978. Let's go. Let me show you what you do with people that talk like this. You go to soccer. We know. I think we're gonna have to look for the Copa America. It's not American football, by the way. Let's look for. International, there it is under Iceland. We're gonna look for Copa America winner. Win. No, close that other one so you're not confused. You might confuse us. Close the one that says Copa America. On top of winner. Yeah. Go. Let's go. Pick a winner, who knows.
Boy. Look, you see, even Mr. Oddmaker knows, boy.
Even the bookmakers are like, it's Brazil, guys. Let's stop playing with ourselves. Brazil are the team. Okay, let's do this. Let's be fun. Let's say
Alright, boy, please. Wasting my money.
Let's put the website down. So it is Brazil at the end of the day. Everybody's going with Brazil. It's humbling in line.
I think they got a hiccup against Ecuador. That 1-1 draw they had was the only hiccup they've had, in the entire campaign. I don't think Brazil are going to be shaken, my guy. I think they know exactly what the goal is here. They haven't won a World Cup as well. So I do think that going into the World Cup, they want to have something that's on their shoulders that says, my guy, these guys are the Copa America champions. So they come in here looking to win something, So
let's put the website down. I want to hear you with both ears. Carry on.
Brazil is the one. That's all I'm saying.
Messi is a free agent. He has a point to prove. He's never won an international trophy to himself and everybody else. Do you realize that Messi's legacy is lacking just an international trophy? Even if he goes back to his childhood and wins the Olympics again. You know what I mean?
If Messi was a basketball player, then maybe.
What do you mean?
Because there's only like 5 players on the field, on the basketball. What?
But there's 11 players on the soccer pitch.
There's 2 men. You can't control all those minds, boy. All those other top players in that team. Also the coach. Boy, you can't take a coach. You are pulling Nteki, boy. How do you get Nteki to coach Messi? Boy.
Okay, wait, hold on. First and foremost, Argentina made it to the World Cup finals against Germany.
Yeah.
Right? Contrary to popular belief, on Brazilian soil.
Yeah.
Right? They made it to the final.
Who was the coach?
Higuain made a big
Who was the
miss.
coach?
Who was the coach?
It was Mr. Tats.
Yeah.
God, what's his name? The one who's coaching at Marseille. Yeah, that man. He's the one who was doing the things at that team. Now they bring in someone who coached under 21. Boy, what you gonna tell Messi, boy?
You know why? You remember, guys, Obi knows forgetting a lot, guys. He's forgetting a lot. 2014 was the Brazilian World Cup where these guys made it to the final, right? 2018, was it 2016 or 18? It was 2018, the World Cup in Russia.
14, 18, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. In Russia, Argentina was coached by Messi. We all saw those pictures of Messi coaching in the tunnel, coaching Mascherano, Higuain, Aguero, even telling them who's gonna come on and come off. So do you not think that they just wanted a placeholder to let Messi do his thing? They were just like, we need someone on paper who manages this team to stand on the sideline because Messi is the coach.
If they wanted a placeholder, they've got the perfect one.
Yeah, so Messi is the coach.
Got the perfect
he's the player coach right now. He's just not English. He can't just come on and say I'm a player coach. But he's the player coach, Obi knows.
Boy.
I mean, first of all, as a manager, how are you gonna tell someone who has 6 Ballon d'Ors, has won the Champions League multiple times, has won everything to win in Spanish football, has broken goal scoring records, assist records. He's played next to Xavi and Iniesta. He's a goat.
My guy.
How are you going to sit there and tell that guy, I don't think you're the right fit for the team, I'm going to bench you?
Why? This guy has not coached River Plate. He's not coached Boca Juniors. He's not coached Independiente. This guy has not coached nothing.
Has he won at least the Copa Libertadores?
Oh, boy, pray that he's won it because he's never won it.
So you do agree with me that at this point in time, what is he going to tell Messi? I feel like even a coach who's experienced, Luis Enrique was like, I would rather go coach Spain, I'd rather go talk to Thiago than go talk with Messi. Guys, Messi is out of this world. He's too big for his shoes. And that's the thing that's killing Argentina. I mean, when they made it to a World Cup final, they lost it. They went into the next World Cup final, and you could visibly see Messi coaching the team, which already tells me that it's late for the team.
Lost the Copa as well along the way.
And then they lost the Copa along the way. It's because how you gonna, like, the thing is, we've all dealt with this as coaches, especially coaches. Every coach that has ever coached in football will tell you one thing: there's insanely talented footballers out there, players that you see, and the ball just listens to them. I don't even know how to explain. This guy could trap the ball with his ear. That's how talented this guy is. But because he doesn't listen, because he doesn't do what the coach wants him to do, there's nothing you can do with him.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do with him.
Always
And
the case.
you grew up, you've played football, even at development ranks. You know there's that one player, he shows up late, he has the worst manners on earth. He shows up late, he's wearing the wrong kit, he plays whatever he does, he knows all of us are pop, he's hot as hell, but he never gets anywhere. Not because he can't play, but because of attitude. And at this point, I think Argentina will have to come out and be honest with themselves and say, we have an attitude problem with the national team.
I mean, they do. For them to be as talented as they are, I mean, they've got a talented squad. We've been saying it over the years. They've got so much talent in that squad, but for some reason, it's just not happening. And there's no way. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure if we look back at, some of the past successful squads, we will see that this team, these previous years, these players that they've had, they've been playing for the biggest clubs in the world. I mean, Barcelona at some point, Real Madrid at some point,
Manchester
PSG.
United.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that most of the generations that just passed, in fact,
From 2000.
we can start off from those teams that won the Olympics. Those two teams that won the Olympics back to back, those players are the same players that they have currently now. They're not doing anything. So something really is wrong. And my thing was, fetch Bielsa. Fetch Bielsa. Let Bielsa come and coach this national team.
But it's too late now, we know.
It's never late.
It's too late now.
As long as Mainz is not
Higuain is fat in America. Aguero's just been kicked out by Man City. PSG is still holding on to Di Maria. He's the only star player there. So it's too late now. We know the generation is gone. Barcelona is retired.
It's not late.
I mean, Dybala is not doing this no more. He's watching football on the sidelines, watching Higuain score goals. It's late for Argentina. We know the squad they had. I feel like the perfect time for Argentina to have pulled off the miraculous was in 2014 because they had the perfect squad. They had the depth. I mean, in the 2010, the problem was they had depth, but the players haven't proved themselves yet. I mean, Higuain was at Madrid. You had Messi just coming into his own at Barcelona. You had Aguero just about to leave Atletico, go to Manchester City. They were not in their prime. The players that were in their prime were your Maxi Rodriguez's, and they were, you know what I mean? Who's guy Di Maria was still at Benfica. So they were not star players yet. 2014. All these guys have proved a point. All these guys have won the Champions League. With Ledesma, all these guys had the titles. They all had their names. They were a very scary team to face. And at that time, that's when they had to pull Bielsa because reputation was going to precede them and the talent on the pitch was going to prove a point. But now all of that is gone. They can't now go get Bielsa now for old men. Higuain is there with his beard and a cheese corp. It's not going to work. It's too late now.
I think also maybe they should have kept the coach that led them in the World Cup. I mean, there was no need for them to let him go. I mean, he just won. He's proven to you that he can win international trophies. He won it with Chile, back to back. And you let him go of that coach. That coach?
Yeah, we know.
Please.
It's tragic, but thank you for joining us here today on Mo Sports. Let's see who the answer to the Mo riddle was. We just got carried away. They're talking about Messi and Argentina, but let's see who the Mo riddle is. I love this guy's nickname for Mukoko. You have to say Mai.
No, I don't.
Neil told me. This man's a legend in South African football. What a very decorated footballer. I remember every time, my mom doesn't watch much football, but she always, when she sees this man, give Mukoko.
Everyone knows Mukoko.
Give Mukoko.
Everyone knows Mukoko. I mean, if you said that at the beginning of the riddle and said, I have one more clue for you guys. His nickname was Mukoko.
It's late. It's late. But he's a legend in South African football. But Obi knows, before we wrap up the show, is there anything you want to say before we let it go?
Nah, just the fact that there's a lot of matches to look forward to. I think I'm looking forward to the 6 o'clock game, Spain and Switzerland. That'll be a very big one, very very big one. And I hope Spain wins.
All right, thank you for joining us today on Mo Sports. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. That's 2 p.m. on channel 150 on your big code at Super TV, powered by Super Bet. See you tomorrow.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Yeah, I hear him chat to the noise. Then stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. Let all tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution.